additional hostile contacts. Detecting additional hostile contacts. Hostiles spotting location nearby.
So first off then, the St. Elmo's engine, the new exotic assault rifle added to this season. I wanted to try this weapon out and do a build for this weapon, firstly because it's new, but secondly because it's actually got some really cool mods on it. We've got crit damage here for the optic at 20%. We then got weapon handling for the grip, 20%. We've got another 20% crit chance for the muzzle, and then for the magazine we've got an extra 30 rounds, which is what gives it its 70 mag. So quite a lot of damage coming out of this. This isn't the best roll, as you can see, 12.8% swap speed on there. It's not great. But of course, with the Actimest talent at 100 stacks, the next magazine will be filled with shock ammo. So we've got 70 in the mag. Get that one done, and then you get 70 shock ammo, which is a lot. And this build is built around St. Elmo's engine, and you're going to be able to get a ton of damage out of this. So moving on to the next exotic in my arsenal, we've got the Coyote's Mask. I haven't used this for a very long time, but it's still one of the best damage dealing weapon gear talents in the game. As you can see, we've rolled to crit chance, crit damage, and then crit damage. And with this build, what you're going to want to do is get as much crit damage as you really can, because you're going to be sitting at around 45 to 50% crit chance anyway, and I'll show you the stats shortly. So it says you and the allies gain bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. So 0 to 15 meters, 25% crit damage. 15 to 25 is 10% crit damage, 10% crit chance, and then 25 meters plus 25% crit chance. With this build, primarily, you're going to be in that 0 to 15 meter kind of area. So you're going to be wanting to get that 25% crit damage, and you're going to do a ton of damage with this. So moving on to the chest piece, and I'm using the Grupo Sombre, however you want to say it, Sombra chest piece, weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage. As I said, want to roll everything to crit damage. Obviously, Grupo Sombra's one piece talent is 15% crit damage. I think you can see a theme here, and we've gone with Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds. So basically, you can get an extra 25% damage so long as you hit 25 critical hits. And with this build, that's not overly difficult, especially when you've got 70 in the mag. You're definitely going to be getting that Obliterate up to that 25% extra damage, and then as a result you're going to be doing over 1 million damage, as you've seen in the clip there. So definitely a good piece for sure. So moving on to the holster, we got strikers, and as you will notice there on the right, we are running 4-piece strikers, where you get that weapon handling, that rate of fire, and then we get that strikers gamble. Strikers is one of the best damage dealing gear sets in the game. There's no doubt about that. So we got weapon damage on here, and we have got crit chance. This is actually wrong. I would actually be wanting to run crit damage. For whatever reason, I don't have a striker's holster with crit damage, so that's something I need to get in order to optimize this build. But yeah, you're going to want to be running crit damage there, not crit chance. And as you can see here, moving on, we got the knee pads, of course, with crit damage on them, gloves as well with crit damage, and then of course the backpack, where we've got crit damage, and of course you get the risk management, which is the backpack talent. Increases total weapon damage gained per stack of Striker's Gamble from 0.5% to 1%, which is around about, I believe, a 50% damage increase overall. It's roughly around that figure. I'm not sure the exact figure of that, but yeah, that just means that you're getting a ton of extra damage here. And of course, because we're only got 4 here and we don't have the chest piece of strikers, we're only needing to get to 100 stacks, which will give you 100% extra damage, basically weapon damage. So yeah, really overall, you're just going to be doing, when you're at the 100 stacks with Obliterate, you're going to be doing a crazy amount of damage. In terms of secondary weapon, we got the rock and roll, and the reason I've gone for this is because you want to get the stacks up for strikers as quickly as possible, and this will get you there. It's got 30 in the mag. I've gone for reload speed on this. It's up to you really what you go for. This isn't really a damage dealing kind of weapon. I've gone with reload speed just because, you know, you're going to want to be getting back your kind of your mag as fast as possible. So I've gone for weapon handling here because that does actually affect reload speed, and I've also gone for reload speed here. But really, it's up to you. You could run crit chance on here, crit damage, whatever, and, you know, do a bit more damage with this, but I'm not really using it for that. In terms of the skills, I've gone for the Crusader shield, and that's just because this build does a lot of damage but has very little survivability. So this just gives you that little bit of extra survivability. It doesn't help a whole lot, and you really have to be careful of not being disorientated from when the shield breaks. But as long as you can manage that, then yeah, this is going to help you quite a bit. And on top of that, I've gone with the Defender drone as well, again, just to mitigate some of that incoming damage. What I tend to do is either throw them down at the same time as in the shield and the Defender drone, and it really depends on the situation. Or I do the Defender drone first and then the shield, or the shield first and the Defender drone, whatever it is. But really, this again is just to help mitigate that incoming damage. Now for the specialization, I've gone for Gunner, mainly because with Incessant here, you get that 10% armor, which again is going to help just keep you alive. Because like I said, you're going to be doing so much damage here. Your only worry is going to be the fact that you're, if you take, you know, even a couple of bullets, you're going to be pretty low on armor, if not already on your health bar. So just making sure you can take down those enemies as quickly as possible will ensure that you get, of course, the 10% armor. You also get a third reload is 50% faster, which again overall is just going to increase your DPS, which again is really, really good. We got the hardened armor kit, again giving you that bonus armor, which is really, really cool. We got that rate of fire increase of 5%. For every kill. Now if you add that to strikers, you're basically getting 20% extra rate of fire, which on a build which already does a ton of damage just accelerates your DPS to crazy numbers. So just to show you my stats here, as we can see, we got 48% crit chance, and we've got 175% crit damage. If I could remove the crit chance from my striker's holster, I would. That would leave me at 42%, which I think is fine, and it would increase this up to 187, 188 in terms of crit damage. So overall, you're going to be doing a ton of damage here. But like I said, this build is really strong for damage, but it has very low survivability. So you've really got to understand how to use it and when to use it, and you've got to really make sure that you pick your fights. I've tried this build out quite a lot, and in some cases I just not used to it enough to know when to go in and when to come out. But if you can master this, then you're going to be doing so much damage that enemies really aren't going to even be able to notice you before you're taking them down and moving on to the next enemy. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, Epic out.